Have you ever wondered how medications and treatments get developed? It all starts with clinical trials where researchers test these advancements on real people like you and me. Hello everyone and welcome back to our segment CliniLaunch Knowledge Pod. But how do you think they find the right participants? Right? Today in this video, we'll dive into the world of clinical trial recruitment and how as to researchers recruit their patients or participants. Now imagine you're baking a cake. You wouldn't just throw random ingredients together, right? You would choose the batter, you would choose the right amount of sugar, you would choose right amounts of eggs, correct? Similarly, researchers need very specific people for their trials. They start by defining the ideal participant profile, in which they include factors like age, gender. They also check the medical history of that particular person and even little lifestyle habits which have been going on in their day-to-day lives. Now let's discuss these topics with an example. Let's say a researcher is developing a new medication for migraines, right? They would be looking for people who experience migraines regularly or a severe pain in their head on one particular side regularly but haven't found relief with current treatments that they are taking, whether they are taking sprays or painkillers or any of the form of medications. So once the researchers know what they need and who they need, they cast a wide net. Here are some common recruitment methods which the researchers follow for. The first point of contact for these researchers would be doctors, right? They might know patients who fit the bill and they can refer them to the trial as well, because they have their own group of patients whom they take care of. They know their habits, they know their medications, and they also know each and every medication that they have given to them in particular. Next, we have the patient advocacy groups as well. These groups connect people with specific conditions, right? Researchers can partner with them to reach out to interested individuals separately. We also have websites and applications dedicated to clinical trials, which allow people to search for ongoing studies in their region or nearby their region that they might be eligible for. What they have to do is they have to enter some basic details like their age, their blood group and their gender, and voila, they'll have their results right on time. Last but not the least, we have the social media. These days, social media has become a very big tool in every segment. Targeted social media ads can reach a large number of audience and they can raise awareness about specific trials happening as well. Now imagine there is another patient that suffers from chronic back pain. This particular person has tried a lot of medications and lot of treatment methods, but all in vain. At last, he joins a Facebook group for back pain sufferers. One day, out of nowhere, this person finds a post about clinical trials testing on a non-invasive treatment method, which is one of a kind. This person then checks the eligibility criteria and realizes that he might be a good fit. So what does he do? He contacts the researcher from his side and tries to figure out what can be done next. The next step into this entire process is the informed consent or the informed consent form. Please do remember that this is a very crucial step in the entire clinical trial. I have made a separate video on this itself. You can go to our YouTube channel and find out in our CliniLaunch Knowledge Pod. Moving back, if someone seems like a good candidate to the researchers, they will reach out and explain the trial in detail. Now, what is this informed consent? In this, the potential risks are defined, the potential benefits are defined, what participation is involved, and how long it will last. This is basically informed consent summation, right? Now, it is the researcher's responsibility and his duty to duly sit with the participant and explain each and everything step by step, procedure by procedure, and making sure that the person completely understands what he is getting into, right? Remember, this is a very crucial point in a clinical research trial. The researchers or the doctors cannot even try to take a blood test before getting a signature on this informed consent form. So remember, if you are trying to participate in a clinical trial, make sure you ask a lot of questions. Get to know in detail and in-depth knowledge about the clinical trial that you are participating in. Moving on to the topic on addressing challenges, right? Clinical trial recruitment isn't easy. Finding the right people can take a lot of time, and some trials struggle to meet enrollment goals. There are a lot of things that we need to take care of: the inclusion criteria, the exclusion criteria, the kind of age group we are looking forward for, the kind of genders we are looking at, whether or not the person has a disability or not, whether or not that person has met with an accident before or not. There are a lot of things we need to take care of. There are also two types of drugs we need to really remember about: the concomitant drugs and the contradictory drugs. Concomitant drugs are those drugs which can be taken alongside the clinical trial medicines that will be given to the participants, whereas the contradictory drugs are those which should not be taken along with the trial that is going on currently. For example, someone might be taking a medication for gastritis, or they might be taking a medication for arthritis, for joint pain. Now remember, the drugs that are given in the clinical trials are completely new drugs, or they have some similarities to the standard drug in the market. So we need to make sure the blood tests are taken, the correct amount or the correct type of medical history of the participant is taken, and then only we will be moving forward with the clinical trials. Clinical trials are essential for medical advancements. By participating, you can contribute to the development of new treatments that could help countless people in the future. I will give you a small example here. You must all be aware of how soon the COVID or the COVID vaccination, that is Covaxin, had come into picture, right? This has happened only because of clinical trials. There were certain participants who voluntarily agreed on taking up this trial, and because of that clinical trial, we were able to come up with a vaccine in a very short amount of time. Now imagine if there were no participants or no clinical trials that had been conducted, we would still be having the COVID wave going on even at this point of time. So remember, these are very important, and importance of participating into these kind of trials is also necessary. So if you are considering joining a clinical trial, do your research, ask a lot of questions. Remember, you're playing a vital role in shaping the future of medicine. That's all for this video. Please do like, share and subscribe, and also comment below what was the best part you liked in this video. Do let me know what is the next video you want me to make on. Thank you everyone.